So, today's class is on offerings and sacrifices. And the reason I want to do this is because there are a lot of questions that people ask, especially some of the newer followers of the heathen path that aren't really sure about why we do offerings and sacrifices and what the difference between those is and why we do them. So, first, I'd like to start by talking about sacrifices. So, sacrifices are usually done when you are asking a favor of the gods or when you are like honoring the gods for something that has happened to you. A lot of the times we find ourselves in dire situations where we're really stressed about what's going on and we ask the gods to help us in that. When we do that, when we make that gesture, that subconscious act to ask for something and it happens, usually we would want to repay that. We would want to offer a sacrifice. And the main difference between a sacrifice and an offering is that a sacrifice is something of yourself. Like you are giving something up. You are not partaking of something, which you normally would. It doesn't have to be a huge gesture. As long as you are giving up something of yourself, when you do this, that is what you're looking for. You're looking to give up something that you normally wouldn't, like a comfort or something that you worked hard towards to be able to do. A lot of people will sacrifice a meal, like you know, this happened. I'm gonna sacrifice my dinner to Otin or to Heimdall or to Freya, depending on who you asked and who you follow. What they'll do is they'll take that meal and they'll leave it on the altar as an offering, but as a sacrifice. And then they will not partake of food for the rest of the night. They'll fast that evening. They are giving up something of themselves, something that they're used to having. Now, this can also go for if you normally drink on a Saturday night and you usually have a great time drinking with friends. You can sacrifice your drinking, like still purchase the beer, still purchase the mead, whatever it is you're going to drink, but you don't partake of it. It is now a sacrificial offering. You are giving that up so that you can pay homage to the gods for whatever favor was granted or whatever favor you're asking. Now, with offerings, usually we give offerings as a weekly, monthly, or daily homage. My offering to Heimdall, for instance, every month I give up $50 of my money and I put it aside, and that goes to a charitable cause. Something that Heimdall speaks to me and says, this is where that needs to go. Because Heimdall listens, Heimdall watches, Heimdall sees all that. And when you pay attention and focus on it, my offering to him is that when I see it, I will make my offering. Which normally, it's not like a loud thing. It's not like Heimdall's like smacking me on the head one morning going, hey, go donate to the forests or something like that. It's usually somebody's in need, somebody's looking to better their situation, or a group of people in the area that I live in are in need, and that's what I'll donate to. I do that because Heimdall's a guardian. That's what he does. He watches those around him. He watches those outside. He watches for things that need to be taken care of. He watches for those in need, those that need protecting. And by doing so, this is my monthly offering to Heimdall. Now, a lot of people also do offerings nightly. They'll offer like sage or a candle or a moment. And you don't have to give up something that is super, super important. Remember, the gods aren't so much interested in your material wealth. They have all the gold and all the treasures they're ever going to need. What the gods want is to see your dedication. To see that you are putting forth an effort, that you are remembering them, that you are ensuring that they are not forgotten. And that's what the offering is about. And when we do an offering, a lot of the times people will ask, like, well, what do I offer? And again, offerings are the same thing. Offerings don't have to be some big extravagant thing. Like, you don't have to go out and buy $1,000 bottle of mead or whiskey to make offerings to Odin or any of the other gods. You're offering what you can, and that's understandable. It's the intent behind the offering. Now, I'm not saying whatever trash you have lying around is obviously an offering, because it's not. But something that you were proud of, something that you worked towards, being able to save that extra $20 to be able to buy a bottle of Jack Daniels. Whiskey is a good offering. And you can make that offering multiple times throughout a month. You work towards that goal. That was something that you worked to be able to do. Your offering could be something as simple as time. An offering that you could make is that you will spend 30 minutes every night without fail reading the Eddas, studying the stories, finding one passage within the sagas, the Havamals, anything that fit what you want. Dedicating that time to that is an offering. For those of us who are within the Ravens banner, who our clans are statewide, so traveling to one group meeting could take all day. But in so doing, that is not only a sacrifice, but also an offering that you are giving. What we see as trivial amongst other members, one should never judge someone based on the offerings that they can give. Because remember, we're all in different places in our life. We're all in different places in what we can and cannot do. And with this, we try and reach out. We try and make sure that the gods see us. Yeah? And as much as all of us wish that the gods were watching us constantly, the affairs of man are quite trivial. A lot of the times, the things we're going to ask for, we're not going to see. A lot of the times, the things we ask for aren't going to happen the way we thought they would. Okay. Point in case, I'm fat. I'm sure all of y'all can see it. I'm quite proud of it, but I do know I need to lose some weight. Well, I drive everywhere. If I were to say, ask the gods, I'd like to lose a little bit of weight, the gods would do something like maybe make my truck break down. Now I have to walk to and from a bus stop. I have more time that I'm walking around. Obviously, I'm getting more exercise. It's not exactly what I thought it was. Obviously, I thought, maybe I'd wake up one morning and be 20 pounds lighter. Who doesn't want that? But the way it works is that it's never a direct thing. When we do offerings, when we do sacrifices to honor these things, it's the intent. Just like it is with the gods. The gods do things with intent. They never just wave their hand and go, there. There's lessons to learn in everything we do. Offerings and sacrifices are the same way. Now, along with offerings and sacrifices, you can also do something in the name of. Those are also acceptable sacrifices and offerings. If you were to do community service, not as you, but to say that you're doing this in the name of. You're not looking for the recognition. You're not giving up the recognition that people would have that would say, you, sir, are doing great things. No. The gods are doing great things. I'm here on their behalf. I'm helping to better my community in the name of the gods. This is another great offering. You are giving up your time and your energy to fulfill basic human natures and practices within the Havamal. Which, another thing that I would like to discuss, but that's going to be a class for another day. The point of all of this is that no matter what we're offering, no matter what we're sacrificing, we are doing it in the name of the gods, and it is the intent that we are sacrificing something of ourselves. I don't like to talk about my past in the military. Things happen that I'm not happy with. There are things that happened while I was in that I'm not proud of, that make me feel that I am a monster because of the way that we are dealing with what we do. For the past couple of days, I've actually been speaking about this with a few friends to help me kind of get into the mindset that I'm not a monster, and that the things that I did, like, though they're really hard for other people to wrap their heads around, there's still things that I can talk about. And that's a sacrifice I'm making to Odin. I'm doing that because it is something I'm super uncomfortable with. And to me, that is a huge sacrifice to make. When we do sacrifices and offerings, the intent is always important. What we are willing to give of ourselves is important. What's not important, and what you should learn to realize along your path, is that it's not the monetary value of what you're giving. It's the work that goes into it. It's what you're losing of yourself to do it. For those of us who are new on this path, I ask you to take this week and think about an offering that you can make that doesn't seem to fit what you've seen, that is different from what your preconceived notions of offerings and sacrifices are. Offer that to the gods this week. Feel the intent that you wish to bring into the world for the gods to see. Focus on that. And check back with me in a week on that, guys. Okay? So this is actually going to end the class portion, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions.